All right, we are gathered once again to discuss our stories and make it around in the exciting world of sports. Well, all right, we have no Premier League action for today, but we tell that later this weekend, we are set to have mouth-watering encounters across the English Premier League and maybe Europe top 5 leagues, because those that were on break are going to get back into action over the course of the weekend. But all right, we know that the tennis season also is definitely up and running. Just ahead of the Australian Open, Novak Djokovic is in action, Kyrgios, 𝐒𝐎𝐍𝑰𝐒𝐃, all of them, they've been in action. And Naomi Osaka, we can tell 𝐂𝐐𝐑 golf. These stars, they've been in action just in anticipation of that at the Australian Open. We'll discuss about the chances of all of these ones at least getting past or getting a better result than they had in the year 2024 in this year 2025. And also we'll discuss about the world of basketball. LeBron James is in the news. Games went down in the early hours of today, and then we'll still come back home to talk about Nigerian football. On Tuesday, I think we were here. That was on the 31st of December 2024. I was here, Blessing was here, Peter was here, Dr. Kola was also here, discussing about the Nigeria Premier Football League. And also, I think we didn't discuss the chance or the opportunity or the time that managers have been given in the Nigeria Premier Football League. This season alone, we've had the managers fired across different venues in the Nigeria Premier Football League. But there are some, they still have their job. And Daniel Ogunmodede, the man who definitely is acting in interim capacity for the Chan Eagles, and also one of the assistant coaches to Austin Eguavoen in charge of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He has also come out to throw in his own weight about the barest of minimum that should be given to managers in the Nigeria Premier Football League in case we want, or just because we want them to thrive. So we'll take a listen to the words of Daniel Ogunmodede also on the show at this lovely afternoon. But we know that today is the second day in the month of January in the year 2025, and the program is Scoreboard Reloaded, right on 32 FM 94.9. And you're listening to the voice of Oluwatimne and SAMIES Ogunde, and Peter is seated next to me. So I was not here this morning. Peter was here. He discussed about the English Premier League game that went down yesterday, and also Arsenal Football Club, they got their victory. That was last night. But I want to put to Peter straight. For the whole of the year 2024, Arsenal Football Club were the best team in England. That was for the year 2024. They finished the same points with Liverpool, but they had a better goal difference. That's than the Liverpool Football Club. And the year 2025 has started. Arsenal, they got back their 3-1 victory at the GTEC Stadium yesterday. And so, for Arsenal Football Club, where do you think they got it wrong last season not to have won the English Premier League title? Because according to statistics and all of that, they were the best team maybe in the entire world for the year 2024. I'm talking about the whole calendar year, January to December.
Yeah.
They didn't win anything though. We had Real Madrid that win the UEFA Champions League in the mix. We also had the Bayer Leverkusen, all of these sides that they won. And that's statistics in which maybe a lot of people don't know. Arsenal Football Club were the only team to concede less than 2 goals, 2 or less, in all of their games that were played last season. They didn't concede more than 2 goals. How did they get it wrong? And this is the year 2025. How are they going to ensure that they close the gap on Liverpool, who look like the runaway winners of the English Premier League for the 2024-2025 season? Good afternoon, Peter.
Pleasure to be here, SAMIES. And in all of that you read, someone will say they won't happen. They didn't end up to win anything. They did not. But hey, let's not joke and not try to say things away from what they are. Like you mentioned, the numbers, the stats, the figures, everything favored them. They were good in year 2024. And you were asking questions about where they got it wrong. Maybe one of those places they did not get it right will be them not beating Aston Villa at home in London. Because imagine them beating Villa in that game in London a few weeks before the end of the season. Then the Gunners would have been saying, hey, probably would have been crowned champion in the summer. But that never happened. So it's a fantastic run for Mikel Arteta. But what the fans want to see, what the players also desire, is for them to go ahead and win a major title this season. The FA Cup, the UEFA Champions League, the Carling Cup, they're still in that one. We'll wait to see what they will do. In terms of you saying for 2025 is clear now for us to see. Though we're here to see Liverpool play in this new year, we're going to see them play on this weekend. That will be playing against Manchester United, a return of what we saw earlier in the season. So it's going to be a big one for Arsenal Football Club, big one also for Mikel Arteta. He has also said that if Liverpool should sleep, they are there to take it. And they've been there before, where they topped the table in the new year and they were doing well, and suddenly they lost the title on 2 occasions to Manchester City. So now they'll also be saying to Liverpool, hopefully if you sleep, they will take advantage. Yesterday, it was a game that the world were watching because there was no game except that game. And Liverpool have got that. They also have big interest in that game yesterday, same as Chelsea. They were waiting for Arsenal to fail to get maximum point, but the Gunners went ahead and got maximum points.
Nottingham Forest also.
Yes, maybe not Nottingham Forest. For Nottingham Forest, I still think it's early days for me to say they probably have a shot in this one, except they want to do what Villa did last season. Then good for them. But for now, it's Liverpool are watching behind them to see what Arsenal will do. The Gunners got the job done last night, beating Brentford by 3-1. Now you say the race continues. Liverpool have got one outstanding game in hand, 6 points between them and Arsenal Football Club. Arsenal have dropped a couple of points so far in the first half of the season to Brighton, to Fulham, always again to Everton, of just of recent. And so now in 2025, as I've said, if they can go to the market and sign 1 or 2 players, if the opportunity comes, they will take it. But I think for 2024, it was a good year for the Gunners. The only thing is that they failed to get something major last year.
Well, just as Arsenal Football Club have failed to win something for themselves last season, their manager also is looking ahead at the future, where he said 𝐃𝐈𝐒 was given the chances to play yesterday, or the opportunity to play yesterday, but then they could still go to the market and pick another player, but 𝐃𝐈𝐒 will keep playing. That's because he has shown from time to time that he deserves to play. Well, for us now, let's see how they can also overcome the absence, get better with the absence of Bukayo Saka, who is going to miss 2 to 3 months out of action. But let's move away from that and discuss about this man. That's Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford, we saw him in the team, that he was part of the team that played against the Newcastle. That was over the course of the week also. Yeah. But about now, he said he is not leaving Manchester United. There has been speculations about what the future of Marcus Rashford would be. But for Marcus Rashford right about now, he has come out to say that he is not leaving Manchester United. But then, his best season happened to be right after the FIFA Men's World Cup in Qatar, post-Qatar World Cup, where he had 17 goals scored that season. And for Marcus Rashford, a lot of people would say he is not the striker, but his breakout was in the year 2015-16 under Louis van Gaal, where he was played in that Europa League game, and his first Premier League encounter, he scored a brace against Arsenal Football Club, and then he has been that Marcus Rashford that we all know. But now, for Marcus Rashford, 17 goals in the 2022-23 season, 17 goals in the 2019-2020 season. But this man, aside from those 2 times he has scored 17 goals, he has been unable to produce that's the 15-goal mark for Manchester United, just in the English Premier League. I'm not talking about the UEFA Europa League or the UEFA Champions League, but for a man whose future was so bright from the onset, and the decline in which he is facing about now, do you think this is a Marcus Rashford problem or a team problem? That's Manchester United.
It's Marcus Rashford's problem, to be honest. I mean, he got the opportunity from Louis van Gaal. See, if you have it, if you have the opportunity, grab it, take it. As politicians will say, run with it. Marcus Rashford has failed to run with it, and so it's costing him a lot now. He's not playing regularly. He was kept out by Ruben Amorim for 4 games. He returned for the game at home against Newcastle, where they lost by 2-0. He thought at the point in time he would have the moment to play. He did not have that moment, and we saw cameras, beaming at him, and he wasn't looking like a man that is excited. But just a few hours ago, he came up with a statement on his Instagram page where he said he will stay with the club and all that. But it looks like his future is not there under the Portuguese head coach of United. And you talk about the numbers in terms of his breakout year, what he has done. He set that standard. He set that bar. He raised that bar. So I expect him to be the one to go ahead and surpass it. is Marcus Rashford. So what's keeping him? He's not been playing for England. And it's got a chance to get back to the national team where a few players have been out injured. He never took that chance. So I think for me, Sammy, like you asked me a few minutes ago, who to blame? You can't blame the coach. The coach gave him playing time. He didn't use it. What do you blame? The system. The system worked to his advantage. For him, he did not take that time. And I think that would definitely cost him. It did cost him moment and time as we speak right now. It's about 29 more days to wrap up the first month of the year. Will any club be willing to come for him? Will United also be willing to do business? If they are willing to do business, for how much are they looking at this United player? 50 million, 40 million? Who's going to buy Rashford for 50 million as we speak right now? I doubt if any club will put a 50 million pounds on Marcus Rashford. Maybe if he can hit the ground running, maybe that can happen. But for now, it's United cross to bear. And for Marcus Rashford, if he wants to get back to the Marcus Rashford that you talk about after the World Cup in 2014, 2015, when Louis van Gaal took charge of the Red Devil, he must get back to his best. And his best, it means scoring goals. He needs to score the goals are plenty for United. They are struggling right now as we speak in front of goal. Joshua 𝐒𝐒 is on the striker. People keep saying he's on the striker. I don't know whatever name you want to call it in football. Maybe coaches will help me. Is he a number 10? Is he a man that played behind the scene? But we saw what he did with Bologna. He scored the goals. You don't have to be a top 9 or a top striker for you to score.
His best fit is a supporting striker.
Whatever fits him. They've played him. The last game against, was it against Newcastle? He played behind, what's his name now? Rasmus Højlund. So I don't know what best fits these boys. He's not scoring the goals. The Den also don't scoring the goals, and when you think Rashford should come in and score the goals, he's on the bench or even not even in the match they score. So it's a big headache right now as we speak for Marcus Rashford, and this year will be very crucial to him. If he doesn't leave in the next few weeks, then definitely in the summer United will push him out. And again, SAMIES, if they're willing to do a transfer fee, will any club be willing to pay him the £300,000 he picks in, week out? It's a tough one.
Well, just as you mentioned about clubs coming in to maybe get one or two players, and for Manchester United players, I think most of them are being subject to or surplus to requirements. And then I look at this club side; they are not really playing the best of football we want them to play. And now I asked the question about Marcus Rashford: is it the Marcus Rashford problem or that's the team problem? And now you put in the side of the manager that it's neither the manager's problem, that it is the individual. That's his problem. But then you take a look at that Manchester United setup as well. We have lots of players who are not playing well. They are not giving the results in which maybe they are football fans and maybe football lovers would also want to see. The likes of who I'm talking about, Alejandro Garnacho. We also talk about Bruno Fernandes, who also has declined in the last 2 years now for Bruno Fernandes. Have you even seen him at his best when he actually left Sporting during the winter transfer window in the year 2019-20 season when he joined Manchester United? And then Lisandro Martinez, Harry Maguire, all of these players, what are they doing wrong in this Manchester United team? And then we know that Ruben Amorim probably is biting his finger that why did he take over that Manchester United job at that time of the season? But I'd say to you that for Ruben Amorim, it was the right job for him, but maybe at the wrong time for him to pick up the job. But how many of these players can he get rid of to get his own results, this desired results in which Manchester United are known for back in the years?
You know, United, some I've had people talk about it's not about the manager. Some talk about is the way they've pampered a few players in their side. United is no longer the United that we grew up to know. And some few folks supported, and they're still supporting the club as we speak. But it has not been the best so far since Alex Ferguson left. He began to do a number of coaches have taken charge of the side. David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, the Austrian head coach, Jose Mourinho, Ralf Rangnick. Jose came in on board. They had Ten Hag, and the way they spoke about Ten Hag, you think it's the best thing after pepper soup. But it never happened. Yes, he won 2 majors with them. They said that wasn't good enough. And then in come the Portuguese head coach who's taking charge of the side. And looks like the first few games they've taken charge of is not working for him. And like a few of us said, that it's just too early. These players with him are not his players. He didn't sign them. I've also spoken about the formation he's playing at the moment with United.
But it's not really an excuse. He didn't sign them. He didn't sign them. Look at Liverpool this season.
Yeah.
And Slot has not made...
For Arne Slot, cut him some slack. Arne Slot had a pre-season with these Liverpool players.
Okay.
2 months thereabouts he had with them. His philosophy was there on the table for the boys to see. And there were no many changes. For Ruben Amorim came into the side, changes happened. United were playing with 4 at the back. Under him now, they are playing 3 at the back and 2 wingmen flying, Dalot and Mazraoui. These are not things they were doing during the summer. They didn't do all of this during the summer. But here they are doing it in the middle of the season, and you expect that to work. If it had worked, I would have been very surprised that worked for Ruben Amorim. But hey, like I said the other time, I'll give him some time. End up the season, they're struggling. Now it's about relegation battle for a old Manchester United, struggling to be among the top 6 or to find a place to play on the continent next season. Is a tough one now for them, because for now it's 7 points between them and the teams battling for relegation, and they will be playing away from home against Liverpool this coming weekend. And you want to say, how many will they concede against Liverpool? Can they get maximum points? Maybe for United, they'll look back and say, these were the questions that were posed to us when we went to play against City at the Etihad, and we came back in flying colours, winning that game by 2-1. So for United, the question is right there for them to answer on Sunday. Can they get maximum points against Arne Slot and Liverpool? But like I said the other time, for Ruben Amorim, maybe things might not work now, but maybe in the summer, once we have that summer window where everybody goes home and they can sit down with the boys who will be around him, get a few players out, get a few in, and then maybe when we come following the next season, which is sometime in August this year, we'll begin to see a new Manchester United game, and of course, a new Manchester United in a whole. But for now, United are really struggling, and so many players in that team are not clicking.
All right, let's leave Manchester United and a bit of the European scene and talk about Nigerian football. That's concerning the Nigeria Premier Football League. Well, head coach of the Remo Stars, talking about Daniel Ogumodede. He has training his weight on maybe just giving club owners what it really feels like to be a manager of the a side in the Nigeria Premier Football League, and also maybe manager across the world. Let's take a listen to what Daniel Ogumodede also has to say about the time frame that should be given to managers in order for them to succeed within a football club. The words of Daniel Ogumodede.
If you want the coach to do well, you must give him proper support.
Okay.
You must give him proper support. Whether you like it or not, like he used to say, I learned some things from him.
Okay.
He once told me, look, my friend, there is no way, no club. Recently, we were in a seminar together, and there is no club without its own crisis. You can only manage them, which is the truth. So, if the crisis is more than the coach, then the coach tends to fail. And at the end, they look at the coach like a failure.
It's always easy to make him the culprit, right?
So, if at all,
yeah,
any job is coming from the national team to any local coaches, not precisely me this time, there must be total support for the coach to excel.
All right, so they listen to the words of Daniel Ogumodede. Crisis, manager, the football team, all are intertwined at this point. And this is him saying that if the crisis becomes bigger than the manager, it's a problem.
It's spot on. Absolutely spot on. Some things we don't see, some things we only hear, some things we don't even hear. We only get them much later after the coach is gone. You know, it reminds me of a former Shooting Stars head coach. He had his problem. He didn't discuss. He kept it. He thought he was going to manage it. And then Shooting Stars sacked him that year. So for me, I think this man is absolutely spot on. Every club have got their own issues. Even the Pep Guardiola, Manchester City that were flying high and beating everyone, they had theirs. But as a manager, he was able to curtail it. That's what managers should do. But at times, this thing will be bigger than you, and nobody gets to see, nobody gets to know, and then you will be the one that will be hit. You know, the way they say in the words of leadership, it starts and ends with you. And of course, the manager is the head of the playing staff. The playing staff are the ones that will go get the results, and everybody will be shouting hallelujah when they get those results. And the same fan, the players also, if they don't get the results, they will say crucify them and crucify the coach. That's what is playing out right now as we speak in some club side, not only in the MPFL, even away from the MPFL. You spoke about Ruben Amorim a minute ago. You said when he took the job, he didn't know it was going to happen to him. When he was outside, he had a few things. But when he got inside Manchester United, the guy had see what you're not supposed to see. And as a manager, he must cope. He must blend. You see, every now and then, Ruben Amorim is speaking up to the media. He's talking about not just issues that maybe a few folks know, about issues that are not even glaring to some of us. He's saying how bad this has become and what they need to do and what he needs to do to fix it. So for Daniel, he's a manager, he's senator, he's in charge of one of the best clubs in the MPFL, Remo Stars. He understands how things work. Now on the outside, you think Remo Stars everything is going on well. He also got his issues with that club side. He's dealing with it well, and you can see that on the pitch. So it will be hard for anybody to tell Daniel that Daniel, you must have problem. If you say yes, they'll say you lie. We not get any problem. Your team, the top table. Your team, they get results. He ran away from home, but he knows what he's battling with. At the moment, Benga in your battle here is getting point for shooting stars. Everybody's saying that is the man, that is the best thing after whatever you eat that you love to eat. But if results don't come his way, they will say, Benga, you don't have a place in this team again. Come and go. But Benga has got issues he's battling with the management of shooting stars that at the moment he can still cope with. If those things overwhelm him, it will affect the players and, of course, affect results.
Well, let's leave the Nigerian scene also. Before we leave the Nigerian scene, yes, the Super Eagles B team, that's the Chan Eagles, they would actually begin camping talk next week. That's just ahead of that championship set to be hosted by Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda. Well, moving away from that also, let's quickly discuss about some stories outside football. This is some tennis stories. Novak Djokovic and Sabalenka, they are into the Brisbane quarterfinals as the Rising Stars who are also there. They definitely maybe gave a good account of themselves. This is just in anticipation preparation for the Australian Open, where Novak Djokovic also is aiming to surpass his own record and just beat that man of that caliber. For Novak Djokovic, reaching at this stage, he defeated Gail Monfils for the 20th time in his career, 20-0. And we talk about the longevity of that's Novak Djokovic. Aside from that, this man seems to be aging well. Last season, yes, we know that he was hampered with lots of injury. And remember that I said earlier this week that he came out to say that Andy Murray, is giving him that fresh start again to the year 2025. And remember that Andy Murray is his manager going into the Australian Open, and maybe for how long in the world of tennis. So Iga Swiatek also, she battled back and took Poland into the United Cup semi-finals. Alexander Zverev is injured, and Revan Ptesi, they also showcased the Australian Open potential, and Andrei Rublev, that's the Hong Kong defending champion. He lost out in round 2. So all of these things happening in the world of tennis. How much more anticipated are you for the tennis season in the year 2025?
Yeah, waiting to see what Novak will do. What he said during the last few weeks in 2024, where he granted an interview saying that he's going to challenge for more Grand Slam this year. Wants to go past what he's currently have. And Yannick Sinner, Zacharias, don't forget, they shared 2 Grand Slam in the year 2024. The
biggest winner last season.
Yes.
Was Sinner.
Yeah, and Novak was busy winning the Olympic tennis events. Has never won before. So for me, I wait to see what these 2 boys will do and what Novak can bring to the table. I don't fancy Novak winning the first Grand Slam of the year. And I don't also think that Alcaraz also have got a chance to win something in the opening Grand Slam of the year, because I'm here to see him really take part in any of the games going on from Australia to New Zealand. And then in Sina, yes, the boy to beat again. He won the ATP World Tour Finals. So he had a fantastic year in 2024. Will he have another fantastic year again in 2025? We'll wait to see. For the ladies, it was the Polish Iga Swiatek who was looking like we were going to end the year 2024 on a high note as world number one. Never happened. The Belarusian Agda Sabalenka went on to win, and of course she ended up winning the year as the ladies number one. So for me, the ladies' path of tennis is very unpredictable. But for the men, you can easily say for the Italian, for the Spaniard to go all the way and win the first major of the year. For the girls, you never say never. Coco Gauff, will she come to the party in the next few weeks? Or is going to be the usual suspect of either Iga Swiatek or Agda Sabalenka?
Well, all right. Lastly, LeBron James became the first person in NBA history to play as a teenager and past the age of 40 as the Los Angeles Lakers lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. That was in the world of basketball. And games went down just in the early hours of today. And the result of some of those games, the Washington Wizards got the better of the New York Bulls. That's 125-107. The Detroit Pistons defeated the Orlando Magic 105-96. The Toronto Raptors got the better of the Brooklyn Nets 130-113. And the Denver Nuggets also defeated the Atlanta Hawks 139-120. Well, so other games also went down, but a game set to go down in the early hours of tomorrow. The Milwaukee Bucks will be up against the Brooklyn Nets. The Philadelphia 76ers up against the GSWs. That's the Golden State Warriors. But thank you so much to everyone who has joined us on today's edition of the program. Till we meet later. That's tomorrow's Scoreboard 15 and Scoreboard Reloaded. I am SAMIES, your sports captain. Do enjoy the rest of the day and bye for now.